guys, welcome back to the Vegapreneur Show. My name is Oz, here with Mr. Gaz Oakley, probably one of the most important interviews I've ever had in my life. I literally DM'd this guy 2 years ago when I was in distress. I wanted to become a professional chef, and man, I just didn't know what direction to take. Emailed him, asked him for directions. He gave me tremendous advice, took action on it, and now I'm super blessed to be able to be next to him. I know I'm going to flex his little numbers, because I know it's maybe a little embarrassing to share it yourself. 260K on Instagram, 500,000 on YouTube. If I can call someone a digital mentor, I would call him Avant-Garde Vegan my digital mentor. So maybe for the two people who don't know who you are, maybe you can share your story very basically, where you were starting out before anyone knew about you.
Yeah, so that's me now, but it's been a long journey to get to that stage. I became a professional chef first when I was 15 years old, and I learned the craft and the skills that are helping me today. I worked at some of the best restaurants in my hometown of Cardiff in the UK, and as I said, they helped me on this cooking journey. I went vegan 3 years ago, and that's when the cooking really took off for me. You know, I started social media, my page Avant-Garde Vegan, and that's where it all started basically.
Nice. And I guess the main question I wanted to dive into, and like diving right in, is because you were not vegan when you started your journey as a professional chef, right? And I guess more and more young people are becoming aware of veganism, and for them maybe it's a whole different turn because they can't, or maybe they don't have the conviction to say, you know what, I don't want to touch animal products just for the sake of gaining credibility. Yeah. So you knowing what you know now, would you have done it differently? Would you just suck it up and just, you know what, I'm going to work in the highest professional kitchens, and I might just touch animal products for years, but then get the credibility? How would you go about it right now?
Well, like probably most vegans, when you go vegan, you want to stay away from meat in general, you know? I would never be able to cook with meat ever again.
Right.
And it would be hard, I think, if I was a young chef now wanting to get that work experience. If you aren't living in a place like Montreal where the restaurants are absolutely incredible, I've been into Sushi Momo yesterday, and I'm going to go to Love tonight. Here they're both beautiful. Well, sorry, Sushi Momo was amazing, but
Sushi was the best
Love is beautiful. But if I was a young chef, I'd be knocking on those doors, asking to work there, get experience. Then, if I'm really serious, I'd move to New York. I'd move to Toronto. Okay. I'd try and get experience from as many different top vegan restaurants as possible. Stay away from the small cafes, go to the top restaurants.
Top ones, okay. How would you get your foot in the door?
I turned up to both. The first job I got as a chef, I was introduced by a family friend to the head chef. That's how I got that one. The second one, I turned up and knocked on a door with a picture, with my CV and pictures of my dishes. I was a 17-year-old kid. I just knocked and asked for the chef, please can you employ me, I'll work for free. He said yes, and then I impressed him on my free trial, and he took me on. So
at that point you already had preparation as a chef, you already had the basic
only
skills.
Only 1 year, but
only 1 year, okay.
Yeah, but
you feel it was natural for you, or how did that in fact that conviction come from at a young age to know I want to take that direction, right? Because you mentioned you quit rugby for that. You quit most of your hobbies to follow that passion. So where does that conviction come from?
I guess I started cooking with my dad at such a young age, so I just thought it was a thing to do. Then I got really into it, and you know, I realised that I had this maybe natural creativity that just helped me cooking. So you know, I sort of excelled, I think, especially when I was cooking in school. And I just thought, oh, I'm finally good at this something, you know. I wasn't good in school. I said the only things I was very good at was art or sport. And I knew that, you know, you need to be a top professional, a top player to become a professional, whether it's rugby, football or whatever.
Right.
And I knew that I wasn't quite there, but the cooking, you know, I could get better. So that's why I knew I wanted to be a professional chef.
Right. And then turning that passion into, okay, you've got the skill, you've been to a few restaurants, now you have decent credibility in the restaurant space. You've worked in a few restaurants, let's say 2 years. How do you turn that passion into monetization? And I guess the end goal should never be perspective about money, because that may take away from the ultimate vision of whatever you want to create, whatever community you want to create. Yeah. But still, if you want to be able to live frugally and you want to be able to live and reap the fruits of your labor, how do you turn that passion into profit or money?
Well, actually, this was a long time before I did what I did now. So I was a chef for 4 years or so, And I actually felt like a bit of a failure because I was working so many hours at a young age, 80-hour weeks in the kitchen. This is tough, and I had to take a break from the industry. And I just got a normal 9-to-5 job, loading lorries on a builder's yard. I was actually earning double the money and half the amount of hours in this new job. So even though I felt like a failure, you know, it was nice to have some social life and some more money. And I didn't think I would be doing it for long. I just thought I would have a break from the industry. Right. But actually, I worked my way up in this company, and I try and make every situation a positive. So I worked my way up in it, and I actually became this a salesman, covering a large area of the country. When I was 23, I won Salesman of the Year.
No way. How do you do that?
I think in business, what goes the furthest is just relating to people and just treating people like you want to be treated, rather than going there and being brash and being someone you're not. If you just be yourself and nice to someone, you'll end up getting their business, in my eyes. So I did quite well in that industry, but again, it's not what I wanted to do. I wasn't creative. I wasn't using my creative skills, and I thought to myself, one day I'll open a restaurant. You know, I wasn't vegan then. I just thought I'll open a restaurant and I'll get back into cooking. But I went vegan overnight. I watched one video. It was a speech by Gary Orofsky that made me go vegan overnight, and then the cooking came back to me. I started experimenting in the kitchen.
That passion retreat.
Yeah, and that's how Avant-Garde Vegan started. And then I think I was saying in my demo at Montreal Vegan Festival, I reached 7,000 followers on Instagram and thought that I'd made it, quit my job. But then you have a wake-up call and realise, oh yeah, it's all very, very well and good in saying, yes, I want to follow my passion and do this, but you, as you said, you need to make a living, and nothing in life is free. So I actually found it quite easy to make money. And I know that's quite a bold statement, and a lot of people will be saying, oh, that is ridiculous. Right. But I found my skills. I had this audience on social media, which was me just investing in myself by, you know, putting time every night to take pictures. So invest in yourself. Right. And I built this small audience on social media. And then when I quit my job, I decided to start coming to festivals like this and making cakes and things. So I was selling cakes at festivals, and that was...
How did you get in there? Like,
I just emailed the organizer.
You just emailed them? That easy?
And that's it. You need to just reach out to people. Anything is possible. Literally, you just need, like you emailed me. Email me for advice, but there was some announcement. Yeah, so just email people, reach out to people, and you know, you don't know where it's going to take you. But yeah, so I started doing these vegan festivals, and that was enough money for me to start investing more into my Instagram. Then I decided to go over to YouTube. Unfortunately, I didn't quite make enough money, as you know, getting videographers, getting locations and stuff.
Right.
I actually invested in myself in terms of getting a credit card.
What was your budget around that time?
I can't quite remember, but I didn't have any money there. Okay. It was tough. So I actually got a credit card, but I invested in myself and I believed in myself that much that I'll get a credit card, and I lent some money. And I knew it was going to work out. I just kept going, but there were some low points along the way. But when you put 100% into something, you have to make it work.
You have to commit to it, right?
Yeah, you have to commit to it. Right, so right. I made it work, and the channel's gone from strength to strength. And you know, when you build an audience, people forget that an audience is like a large company putting a billboard up on the busiest roads, you know, where cars pass every day. My audience is like that for them, so I get brands and products sent to me, and they want me to use it in my videos because they know that the audience watching me is vital for their business. So when you do get an audience, you get brands approaching you. So I've managed to create sort of a bit of a business now. Did
you approach the brands, or the brands came to you?
At first, yeah. At first, you know, when I was on a tight budget, I was looking through the list of ingredients that I'd need to make a recipe. I'd email certain brands to say, look, I need this, can you send it to me? And they would happily do it. But then when you get an audience, you can ask for money because, you know, as I said, nothing comes for free, and you need to invest in your product, and you need to help where possible. So And I'm lucky that I've managed to do 2 cookbooks, and they're helping now fund things. But still, I'm still grinding every day. I still, live at home with my family when I'm at home. I've by no means made it in terms of financial, but I feel as if that I'm doing something I love. I'm committed, and I would do this for free, and that's how I think your passion and your product should be. If you would do it for free and you enjoy it, that's the most important thing.
Right. And I mentioned I remember reading in the comments of one of your videos. I've been looking at it since you maybe had like 30K, and I remember because I remember your YouTube reach all of a sudden went down, right?
Yeah.
And then I remember someone mentioned, hey, listen, guys, we'll start a Patreon for you. And I remember you specifically said, you know what? I don't want your money. I want to do this for free. I want to offer you something, and I don't want to start a charity. Where does that come from? Because a lot of people would just said, you know what, let's start that.
Well, it's quite deep, really. YouTube is a huge business now, and people are making serious money on YouTube. And I know that if I make some key changes and steps to my channel, one day I could potentially have a huge lucrative YouTube business. That could potentially happen. And I prefer to sort of invest for myself, borrow money here and there to do it from banks or myself or my family, rather than taking people's money. I don't really like the ethics of it.
Because you're still providing value.
Yeah. I don't know. It doesn't agree with me that much. I don't want. At the end of the day, I'm making money, and one day if I buy a house, I think to myself, if I buy a house, then that money that people gave me for my YouTube channel, some people could think, oh no, he's just bought a house with that money. All things like that go through my. For me, when I start my restaurant, I'm not going to take any money from any investors, I don't think, because first up, I really like being in control, and second thing, I just want to do it myself, and I don't want to rely on anyone. I appreciate people saying that, because for them to offer me their money that they've worked hard for, I just think that's amazing, but I can't do it. Thank you, though. Right.
And so if you could basically summarize it, make it into really baby steps. I know people more and more into...
Sorry, can I add one more thing to your last question?
Please do, go for it.
I think if I was early on in my YouTube career where I had 1,000 subscribers and I was really struggling and I didn't have to get that credit card, potentially then Patreon would have been an appealing thing, because then it would have been more of a community thing. But now I've reached a certain level on YouTube where I'm making decent money on it. It just so happens that my videos cost so much to produce, it's why I need additional revenue for it. But I appreciate it anyway, I only do it myself.
Okay, nice. And so, let's say if you wanted to break it down into very baby steps.
Yeah.
Someone wants to, you're literally doing a training program, except you're not losing weight, you're building a YouTube community.
Yeah.
And a lot of people would say now, he would never have the followers if he started right now. Because they say the algorithm has changed and you only get 6% engagement rate. But let's say you had to create a building program.
Yeah.
What would you do consistently every day? Would it be a question of Monday doing recipes, Tuesday doing shoots? Is there any formula that you would?
I kind of agree on the algorithm thing, because even I've seen sort of peaks and troughs in my views and stuff. But YouTube is a platform that is growing still, so it's still going to grow, and regardless when you start a channel, I think if you're doing something right, it will work. And my key tips for starting a YouTube business would be first, perfect your craft, or perfect you're doing interviews. You've got me on the second one. There you go. That's pretty good.
Love it.
I'm joking. Yeah. So I recommend for you to keep knocking on people's door, like big YouTubers, big activists, things like that. Get them involved. So perfect your skill, whether you're cooking. Perfect your dishes before putting them on YouTube. Then maybe think to yourself if your sort of kitchen at home isn't too aesthetic. I think that's very important these days. I think years ago, YouTube wasn't as polished as it is nowadays. So potentially if I started my channel 5 years ago, I wouldn't have had to hire kitchens. I could have done it in my parents' kitchen. But everyone's trying to achieve like a television standard. So you need to invest in...
The barrier to entry has gone way up.
Yeah. So invest in it. Try and make it as beautiful as possible. Then one of the most important things is post consistently. Post once a week, twice a week, every day if you can.
Okay. But then where do you draw the line between frequency and quality?
Yeah.
Right? Because if you do it once a week, it's amazing content. Good but question. If you do it once every day, they say quantity makes quality. Yeah. So where do you draw the line?
So I try and create them.
Hi, how are you?
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
So we're just doing an interview, but I can chat to you in a sec. That's a nice little feature. Quantity over quantity, quantity over quality, quality over quantity. Yeah, that's how I would say.
But quantity gets quality, or does it?
Well, for me, because I try and make television-ready cooking videos. For me, maybe with the investment that goes into making my videos, one is enough for me. That's how much I can physically do. One video a week. But if someone was starting a vlog channel and they're doing something exciting each day, potentially doing one every day would be beneficial. But then it's so tough on you. It's hard work.
Right.
I try and vlog and I film stuff and then I don't have time to edit it. I've got loads on my memory card that I need. I'll give it a go, but I think it's actually a tip that I learned in the professional kitchens. Do it right slowly, and then as you're doing it right more and more slowly, you get faster and faster. So do it right, perfect it, and as you do it more often, it's gonna get faster and better quality. So yeah, maybe start off small and then build it, but just try and keep consistent. Keep once a week, just as long as you're sticking to that at least.
Yeah. Okay. Really appreciate that. Mr. Gaz?
Oh, sorry, one more. So if we're going on to the business things, speak to brands.
Yep.
Make sure you're sort of playing to the algorithm, so all your tags are right, your captions are right. Share on all the social medias. Make sure each social media is you got synergy. So Avant-Garde Vegan on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook.
Right.
Don't have your, it'd be totally different, so people can find you. Put all your social links below the videos. Yeah. Share them to every single friend. Annoy your friends. Because if you start telling if they'll share it to their friends, then their friends will just keep sharing it to your friends.
And I remember they said the more you share, the people that love you will adore you, and the people who may not like you as much will just leave, and then you just really create that community.
Yeah,
it's about putting your message consistently out there.
Yeah. Just believe in yourself and keep going. Anyone can do anything in this world. I've noticed if I can do this, anyone can do anything.
Right. And you reach the top faster than you know it, and it's almost intimidating, right? Because you still feel like you're that little kid, but then you...
Yeah, and that's something that I always say, like I didn't start this to be coming to Montreal Vegan Festival and doing book signing. This is so hard to believe, but I never think about that stage. I think just do something that you enjoy, and then if you're helping people and giving something to someone that they can take away and learn from or recreate, or you're going to have an effect on someone, and you don't know where it will take you. Like for me to be invited to Montreal Vegan Festival, that is like, wow. I'm from Cardiff, a small city in the UK. I could dream of just coming here on holiday, but to come here and do this is amazing. So I'm very appreciative, and thanks for interviewing me.
Cool. Thank you guys. Man, we could go for hours. Yeah. How would you close the session? Would you say, thank you for listening to the second episode of the Vegapreneur Show. It was Oz, it was a pleasure. Make sure to drop a like, subscribe. What else would you say?
I'm rubbish at this, but I've got it. So I say,
you got it down.
This camera, yeah?
This camera down.
So please like, share and comment on this video. Hit the notification bell if you want to be part of the gang. That's what I say. And make sure you're subscribed. If you want to keep videos to keep coming, you have to subscribe and share them. It's very important. So yeah, please subscribe to the channel. And my channel's Avant-Garde Vegan.
Avant-Garde Vegan. Woo!
Thank you, my bro.
Cheers. Thank you.
Thank you.
My money don't got quite a little flow.